Hey, what's up? Putting this video up for Tony. Said I would post some text comment on his videos. He's struggling with Saim-Hann tactics. And to be honest, I don't really blame him because I've been playing similar Eldar list for a good 2-3 years now, and it is one of the hardest lists to master. The only one I've found more difficulty in trying to master is Dark Eldar. Did that sort of, got some success out of it, but that's the only one that's been harder than a Saim-Hann themed list. I'll get off that and I'll get onto it. What you were saying in your video about singling out units and destroying it, that is the basis of 40k. That is how you should play. However, Eldars, especially Saim-Hann lists, just don't have enough firepower to do it. The way you need to play, the way I play, and I've found a lot of success in it, because after a good 6-7 months of straight defeats, I'm pretty much undefeated. I have a really good record with my Eldar list, and because you have to rely on the one thing that you have better than anybody else: mobility. In my list I've filled some like 18 Jetbikes. Nothing can keep up with 18 Jetbikes. Not even a running swarm list. You're just going to outmaneuver anything. The only drawback is you lose a lot of firepower. So what you need to do is you need to identify your biggest threats. These are going to be things with heavy weapons. Tanks, Devastator squads are very hard to kill, especially in cover. Lots of wounds, lots of heavy weapons. These are things you need to hit. So right, my list I run 2 fire prisms. 2 fire prisms can drop any tank on any turn in the game. Obviously, yeah, they're a bit less accurate now because of the new blast template rules. But I've still hit enough times to rectify the points. So the idea of singling out a unit and destroying it, it just doesn't work. You end up having your entire army going after one thing, putting all your eggs in one basket, and then something else will come in and wipe you out. You need to pick your fire carefully, very carefully. Your jet bikes hit troops, that's what they're there for. They've got lots of shots, they can fly up 12 inches and drop back 18, fall back to a safe distance. So they hit the troops. Your big things like your Vipers, your fire prisms, things of that nature need to hit vehicles, monstrous creatures. I don't know what HQ you're running, but I run Farseer on a jet bike. Amazing, absolutely phenomenal. When you can turbo boost your jet bikes, unfortunate, and 3-up rerollable invuln save is brilliant, it's fantastic. And my other HQ that I run is Uriel, with 10 Dire Avengers and a Wave Serpent. That unit just nails. Basically, the Dire Avengers, no good in combat. Uriel, amazing in combat. The Dire Avengers are there to give Uriel an extra 10 wounds and a cushion of 20 shots when it runs into combat. 20 bolter shots, really. So I think you really just need to try and rethink your tactics and the way you're playing your Saim-Hann list, because singling out an entire unit and trying to destroy it with the Saim-Hann list just doesn't work. We just don't have the firepower unless you're targeting everything in your army at one individual unit, and that's just a bad way to play. You need to identify your highest priority targets and work your way down the scale. Otherwise you're just going to find yourself bogged down with too much to fight, all your eggs in one basket on one side of the board, and you've got something on the other side of the board that's hitting you from a distance. So just try, before the game starts, just make a note of things that are going to hurt your army more than anything else. Like rhinos with guys inside a rhino, that's not much of a threat until the guys come out with the rhino, because even if they zoom up, you've got jetbikes. Jetbikes can outmaneuver a 10-man attack squad that jumps out of a rhino any day of the week. But if you're hitting the rhino instead of the Vindicators and the Predators and the Devastator squads, you're not picking your fire. You're not picking that fire like well enough. So it's just something to think about, mate. just target prioritize. That's all I can say. Don't try and destroy everything outright. It just doesn't work like that. So, like I said, it's just something to think about. Target prioritize. That's all I can say with Saim-Hann. That is all you can do. Get the things that are going to hurt you the most first. Once they're gone out the way, you can start hitting the smaller things and the smaller things. So you need to hit your high strength, low AP things with blast templates. When you've still got quite low toughness, just gotta make sure you're hitting these high priority targets. Wiping units out, like I said, it's not feasible enough with the Saim-Hann army to justify the units you have to throw at them. Even Jetbikes, 12-inch range, you leave yourself wide open to an attack. It's not feasible. If you run your jetbikes with a high number of shuriken cannons in them, I'd advise just staying 2 foot away until you whittle down the squads enough to justify getting within a foot. Because the Space Marines especially, and many other units, are deadly at a foot range. You know that. You've done all your videos on Space Marines. So, there you go. It's just something to think about. Any other questions, you know where to find me. See you later, mate.